Hello, and welcome to another edition of Ben Wilkoff Debriefs the Transition. Today I am trying something new again. This is an app that allows me to create a video looking like an old VHS tape with really bad tracking and the timestamp down here. And the reason why the timestamp is important is that it is now 2:06 on April 12th, and it is a day when two out of my three children were very sick. They required lots of sleep and not a whole lot else. But I have attended six, count them, six virtual meetings, either in part or in whole. And it brings up the question, how do we move from a face-to-face exclusive culture to a culture that embraces and maybe even encourages remote participation? So in the experience today, there was a lot of moments of sort of second-class citizen virtual participation. And then there were some moments of actually first-class citizen, and the contributions of the virtual participant were more meaningful or more valuable because I was doing some of the note-taking or I was doing some of the collaboration in a document, whereas everyone who was face-to-face really had to take sort of full ownership of the conversation and had to pay attention to all of the things that were going on, making eye contact, not being able to be on a computer taking notes or collaborating that way. And so in thinking through what each of those different experiences were, it makes me think that right now we have a default stance of face-to-face meetings. And every meeting that we make, there is the sort of location, very little attention paid to drive time before and after, especially if you have to go to a school or if you are, I should say, get to go to a school. But that the face-to-face is the paramount type of interaction. And there is no default setting for a virtual inclusion, right? We have to set up a separate call-in number, or we have to set up a separate hangout or things like that. And so I'm really interested in how we might approach a move toward virtual inclusion as a default. How can we better support our teachers? How can we better support our leaders in participating in virtual inclusion so they don't have to leave their building, so that we can support multiple schools at any given time using virtual supports or online supports? So I'm really interested in how it is that we can set a default of virtual inclusion or online inclusion, but then also support people in being able to do the same on their own. So a couple of ways that I'm thinking about. One is we turn on the default for every Google Calendar invite of adding the video call. Right now it's Hangouts, and then it'll be Hangouts Meet very shortly. But how do we turn that default on, either at the domain level or just for all staff, where any staff who make a meeting, there's automatically a video call that's added and no one has any confusion about how to join that. And when we get Hangouts Meet, then there are no plugins, there's nothing to worry about, and that makes it a lot easier for us to sort of move forward with sort of a default of online collaboration or of online resource. I also think that having a notes document or some way to virtually collaborate as a default in that calendar invite is going to be really valuable. But then how do we support the school teachers or leaders in being able to join, in being able to offer up supports? And so that is something that I'm thinking a lot about, and I would love to hear your thoughts on. So if you have any thinking, please do reply either as a comment on the video or just reply to the email that I am fortunate enough to send out. I hope that you had a great day of teaching, learning, leading, and creating, and I hope that you do the same tomorrow. Talk to you soon.